So, after how big Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong was, and I will be doing a review of it when it comes out in trade, which I think got delayed until, like, the first week of July, so I still got, like, another month of waiting until I can finally get it. Which Chris did tell, like, my friend Mount Vernon Kid told me that it's already been pre-ordered for him and me, so that's cool, so that's awesome. Yeah, so, this comic, obviously, it was so big it actually got delayed, which the final issue got delayed for improvements, which apparently no one could see the difference, because apparently it ended in a way it was, like, kind of finite. There wasn't, like, a cliffhanger ending, so that's weird. That's what me and my friend Matt Denian theorized anyway, is that they were kind of retooling the ending to be like, oh yeah, we could probably get a new end, we're probably going to get a new ending out of this, or something of that degree, or something else, I don't know. But yeah, the whole thing really was a smash hit. It was a absolute smash hit of bringing the Monsterverse against the DC universe in an all-out war. Now, the big question is, it's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when they'll announce a sequel. Because I guarantee you it printed enough money to get a sequel. So I promise you we probably get some announcement of Godzilla vs. Kong vs. Justice League 2. They really need to work on that title. But I guarantee you we'll probably get a sequel. Maybe not an announcement this year, but maybe San Diego Comic-Con, which, by the way, that last year, after how bare bones 2023's San Diego Comic-Con was, that was definitely the announcement of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, JLVGVK, was definitely the big moment. It was the big release. That was the big one. That was the real big one for last year's San Diego Comic-Con. So I imagine they'll want to strike lightning twice, and maybe I would not be shocked if we got another announcement for that series. So, with that being said, I thought it would be kind of cool to do like a pitch for a second for a sequel. And I'm just saying, DC Comics, Legendary Comics, Warner Brothers in general. I'm here. I'm a writer. I have books to my name. I can do it. I can write this comic for you. You don't have to pay me that much. I know that's such a cardinal sin thing to say for a writer, but like to write these both these characters from both these universes is a legit dream come true of mine. So I would love nothing more than to do that. Honest to God. But hey, what do I know? So I'm just gonna talk about this pitch for a Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2. Because again, I have no doubt in my mind we could probably get it, especially after how well, not just how well the comic did, but also considering how well the fucking movie, GXK went. How well, Godzilla x Kong, how well that played out as a film. So, yeah. And obviously they want to build up more to James Gunn's movies coming next year. So yeah, let's talk about it. So here's my pitch for a sequel. So the story would be centered. It wouldn't be so much because this is a DC universe that is not like the main DC continuity. It's like its own one. If anything, it's like a more grown-up version of the Super Friends, as I've heard a few times. Like it's kind of like someone just took the Super Friends and made it for a little older audience, which is cool. Especially after when I get that comic, I'll do a full review of it. But I know some things that happened in there, obviously like Green Lantern Kong and all that. But anyway, I digress. So the story is that. Basically, in this, for those who are unaware, in this continuity, Superman and Lois just got married. In fact, Godzilla kind of crashed Clark from asking the big question in this story, and some characters died. And among those characters was Toyman, who used the Dreamstone to bring the monsters here, and then Superman used the Dreamstone to send the Titans back to Earth, back to their Earth. So in this story would center not so much on the Injustice League, or they're also known as the Legion of Doom. It wouldn't be so much the Legion of Doom. It would be more on Grodd. You see, Grodd during the comic saw Kong as like an ape god, but in this sequel, in this story, Grodd was disillusioned by Kong. Basically, he looked at Kong and went, Kong didn't help me. He basically, helped the superheroes and became a Green Lantern. He did shit for me, so he was not my ape god. He was not the ape god that I thought he was, but I believe he's out there. I believe he's in that other universe. So what does Grodd do to get back to the Monsterverse? Basically, what Grodd does is with the help of the Rogues. They basically break into the Flash Museum and attract the attention of one of the Flashes, Bart Allen. Like, let's say for this one, Bart Allen. So Bart in here gets it. He's fighting the Rogues, and then Grodd comes out of nowhere and mind controls Bart. They haven't been able to do this before, but in this universe, it's a different universe, so who fucking cares? So Grodd mind controls Bart and uses him to bring him to the cosmic treadmill. So through Bart Allen, Grodd uses the cosmic treadmill to break back into the Monsterverse and basically be in the Monsterverse. And essentially what has happened is that Grodd now on this Earth, with Bart Allen as like his slave, and the Rogues got left behind. So by this point, Barry and the Justice League have arrived. The Rogues already surrendered. They said like, "Hey, Grodd kidnapped Bart Allen. Your little Kid Flash kid," and they fucked off to another universe. So essentially, they have to use Mother Box technology to follow them. So in this part of this story, the Justice League had to deal with monsters on their Earth. But now the Monsterverse has to deal with superheroes on their Earth, an Earth that never had superheroes before. So the Justice League arrive, and even like I would have a scene where like Batman like talks about like maybe this is not a good idea, maybe we're messing with another universe. And the last time you battled Godzilla, you were nearly killed. Like he nearly killed you, and he's not gonna like the idea of you being here. But they're like, but Barry's very insistent on like, look, we gotta save Bart, and we have to stop Grodd from what he's doing. What Grodd is doing is that he discovers, he learns more about Monarch. He does remember being on that Monarch base on Skull Island, and essentially he basically, through some misadventures, Grodd basically mind controls several people in this Monarch facility, and he learns about the Hollow Earth, and he's like, yes, that's where my ape god is. And by this point in this story, Kong is now in Hollow Earth. Like, Kong is already, like, Godzilla versus Kong has already happened, and we are now like in set. I guess you could call this like another continuity of Godzilla x Kong, like another version of that. But essentially, what happens is that Grodd, after mind controlling several members of Monarch, gets his way down to the Hollow Earth, gets down to and with these Monarch slaves, he gets his way after several of them get eaten and killed after using them as body shields. He finds his way to the Scar King. So Grodd Grodd finds the Scar King, and he's like, yes, this is the real ape god I was looking for, and he sees like all the ape army Scar King has assembled, and Grodd's like, yeah, together we're gonna bring a whole new meaning to guerrilla warfare. By this point, Godzilla's already fucking pissed, like he's already having a shit fit, and in this story, the Justice League were trying to keep a low profile, in that Batman basically suggests that, hey, we need to. These people have never seen, metahumans before. We should probably keep like a low profile. And what they do is just kind of stay in civilian identities for a bit, and then they start seeing Godzilla start flipping his shit, and that's when Godzilla's like tearing through a city to get to a power plant, and Clark's like, I can't do, I can't let this go. Clark just goes into action to battle Godzilla, and it goes about the same way again, because, yeah, Godzilla's even stronger now. He's powering up. And essentially, this would lead to, a new version of Godzilla x Kong with the Justice League and Godzilla and Kong now on the MonsterVerse Earth, and I would even have, like, MonsterVerse characters, like human characters, and also talk about, like, the effects of, like, these metahumans being on this Earth. And now the people of Earth already had to deal with Titans. Now they have to deal with, like, the multiverse and superheroes and shit. But now it's the Justice League who have to team up with Godzilla and Kong, because apparently Kong didn't play a big role in the first one. So in here, Godzilla and Kong, along with a resurrected Mothra, team up with the Justice League and battle Grodd and Scar King and his ape army. In here, Grodd would help get the ape Scar King and his entire ape army to the surface, whereas Mothra and Godzilla and Kong stopped the army. It was just Shimo and Scar King. But here, Grodd helps them get to the surface world, and now we get, like I said, a new version of Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. So that's kind of the gist of the story. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this sequel to Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2? What did you think of this pitch? Just comment below, let me know. Would you use Scar King? Would you not? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.